Well, once again, hello. Today is Saturday, May 4th, and we're going to go over the weekly, which is to ease your emotions without food. Easier said than done, I know. I like the quote, which I showed you at the beginning of the clip here, making our way to July 4th with the U, emphasizing on you. And she also put, may the 4th be with you. At our meetings, we're striving to have a good time between now, May 4th to July 4th. So that's why they're going, may the 4th be with you. So for May, June, July, for the next 3 months, from May 4th to July 4th, we're going to really concentrate on losing weight. I went today with the full expectation that I was going to have a gain. I told you last week I didn't weigh myself. I just couldn't face the scale. I got home, I faced the scale, and on my own home scale, which was good because it brought me into sorry, I gotta fix my shirt. The realization that I do need to get back on my program. I really need to get back on it because I had such a huge gain. It brought me into the 40s, and I just didn't want that written in my book. I knew that once it was written in my book, that would be my downfall. So I did have today, I did put my little stickers in here. I put make today awesome, which I mean today and tomorrow because it's the weekend. Be brave because I know I can do this. And I put a little heart just to remind myself, just to love myself just a little bit more this week. So I did have a 1.9 gain, but I'm still in the 30s, 238.9. So I have a total loss of 65.3. The largest weight I've lost so far had been 77 pounds, and that was back on September 1st of 2018. I definitely need to take it one day at a time because that's what I need to do. And I have decided that today I've rejoined Weight Watchers. I went into the meeting and to the people that weigh us, and I said, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Sandy. And they go, Sandy, we know who you are. And I go, oh, no, this is my first meeting. I'm rejoined today. Oh, okay. And then they all said, okay. And then I introduced myself to everybody at the meeting. And it's just, I needed to do that because even though I had a 1.9 gain, trust me, that was a loss considering how much I had gained last week. And you have to go over my daily vlog to see how much I really gained last week because somehow it slipped out because I'm not even saying it again because I don't want that out in the atmosphere. It was just really, really bad. So my plan was for May. I'm going to dedicate the month of May to my mother's memory. My mother passed away in 2007, in March of 2007. And I never wanted to disappoint my mother. So I'm striving to make this my turnaround month. I'm going to have a loss every week this month. And I'm just going to get back on track. And with that being said, I brought my little reminders out because I have my Weight Watchers jug. I've drank my water. I got to remind myself to drink my water. I have to remind myself never, never give up, which I have no intentions of never giving up. I have on my little book here, which is hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds, which Carrie from Weight Watchers with Carrie sent me, and it says she believes she could, so she did, and I will. I do. Thank you, Valerie Reese. I start my day each day with a thankful heart because I'm so thankful. You know, I'm overweight, but I don't lack for anything. I have enough love in my life. I have enough family in my life. I have all you guys. I just have so much going for me. I really do. I have so much going for me in life. And the weight is the least of my issues. But it should be forefront in wanting to lose weight. And I have my St. Charles medal here that I have in my wallet that I keep all the time. And there's a little prayer on the back. St. Charles Borromeo is the patron saint of dieting, obesity, and stomach ailments. I ask you for prayers to intervene and help me with my condition. So I do have that in my, and I have a little angel that just tells me to have strength. See if you can see it, strength. I gotta have strength. I keep that in my wallet. It goes with me all the way, everywhere I go. And then I got my little turtle, that no matter how slow I'm going, I have to remember to enjoy the journey. Don't make this a drudgery. Make it fun. I mean, obviously it's not fun when you gained. I had a huge gain last week. I don't know. First, let me tell you firsthand, in case you didn't know, it's no fun. It's no fun. It really is no fun. But sometimes you need to take a little break from life. I took 7 months. A little bit too long of a break. But I'm back on track. I'm back at it right now. So with no further ado, let's get on with the meeting. Sorry about all that rambling for 5 minutes about nonsense. But anyway, we're going to talk about emotional eating. It says, ease emotions without food. We've all been there, sad, anxious, rummaging in the fridge for something just to push away that bad feeling that we had. Just as we might link locking the door with leaving gives us comfort, sometimes we think if we eat food, it gives us the same kind of comfort. A lot of time, emotional eating just isn't fun. And I know that because I've had my bouts of emotional eating. You feel guilt, shame, frustration, especially because it can slow your process. And the difficult feelings then send you right back to the fridge. How many of us have been, at least with me, I've just been so discouraged lately, and I'm thinking, what the heck, I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat because what's the point? I'm not losing weight anyhow. I'm going to enjoy my life. But then I start eating that, and then I forget how bad I felt when I was eating poorly because I don't sleep well, I ache. I'm always wanting more. Nothing satisfies me. No matter what I eat, nothing satisfies me. And even when I have emotional issues, when I'm arguing with Jim or anybody, it's just, I think that if I turn to food, it's going to make me feel better. And I'm going to be honest with you, it makes me feel better for that little hot minute. The minute you put it in your mouth, you're feeling so good. It hits your stomach, you're still feeling pretty good. And then maybe about 10 minutes later, you're feeling pretty bad. So did it really accomplish anything? If anything, it made you feel worse. At least for me, it makes me feel worse. So I'm trying to figure out a way, which they say is to try to find non-food responses that will help you stay on track and deliver a boost. And they said that these are some of the suggestions you could do. Just first of all, you got to address the emotion. You have to know why you did it. I am terrible with money. I say this all the time. But I still do a monthly budget because I have to figure out when my bills are going to be paid with the money when I have it coming in, because we have like a pension and a Social Security check and things like that. And they come at different times of the month. So I have to figure out when I'm going to pay it. In the past, I always was robbing Peter to pay Paul. When Jim got his paycheck, I'd have to figure out what I was going to pay. And when I got done, I rewarded myself with something fattening. It was such a habit that I did it for so many years that even when I do my budget now, I have the money. I have the money to pay all my bills. I don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul anymore. But I still have the mindset that when I sit down and do my budget for the month so I know exactly what bills I'm paying out of which check, I think I have to eat afterwards. But now I've made the choice of having something healthy. So I have something healthy when I'm done. And I've still not broken the habit, which is bad, but it's just, we all know habits, especially if you've had them for like 30, 40, 50 years, they're really hard to break. But that doesn't mean they can't be broken or as you can't make adjustments to them. And that's what I did. I made some adjustments. And see, even my shirt today I wore, Carpe Diem, seize the day. It says it on my sleeves too. Just as a reminder, I need all of these reminders for me today. Some of the other things you can do is, wait for me while I go answer the phone. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Some of the things you can do is look at photos from a vacation that you took when you felt really good about yourself. Go for a brisk walk. Try a workout. There's so many on YouTube that you can do. Watch a favorite comedy. Watch a favorite show. Watch a favorite movie. Have something healthy if you're going to eat. If you're one of these people that watch a movie and you have to eat something, have like a healthy popcorn, which is 3 points for the bag, which is more than filling. Plant your flowers. Boy, this is springtime. We can get out there and plant our flowers. Sometimes you just close your eyes and just be aware of your breathing, kind of like a meditation. Browse your wellness rewards. Maybe you get some wellness rewards and it'll give you something that you can do. And also text somebody that you might want to reach out to. So that's just some of the things you can do. But anyway, we did talk about what's eating you, which is what the theme of today's meeting was about. They told us if your emotional issues remain unaddressed, your food cravings will remain constant. But if your emotional issues change, so will your food cravings. Like I just pointed out with my budget. I had so many emotions trying to figure out exactly how I was going to pay my bills. And so I always turned to food when I was done as a reward that I finally managed to figure out a way to get all my bills paid. But now I've figured out that that's an emotional issue for me, and I've realized that. So I make a plate of fruit or make a little snack or set aside some nuts or something that I'm going to have when I'm done with mine as my reward. It's a healthy treat, and I'm still having that snack that I wanted to have afterwards. You have to always remember, this is a lifelong journey. You're not going to magically reach your weight goal, and then you can go back to eating the way you want to eat. No, this is the rest of your life. And I always say if I would have learned this in my 20s, it would have been an easier life as far as weight loss for me, because I would have been so much better. I would have been able to do so many more things. But it just goes to show you're never too old to learn. There are some of my followers that are in their 80s and they're still trying to lose weight. And I give them so much credit because, you know, like you could reach a certain, like I'm going to be 69 this year. It's like I can think, you know, what's the point? Well, you know, I've lived my whole life, you know, I'm not like a fashionista or anything like that. I don't look at my hair. I don't do makeup. I don't really care about my clothes that much. But I like to feel good and I like to look good. And you can't do that unless you lose some weight and you're healthy. You could be the skinniest person ever in the world and you cannot be healthy. You have to eat the healthy foods. So I know this is a robocall and this is driving me crazy, but I'll be right back. As predicted, a robocall. But I brought the phone with me this time because next time I'll just answer and hang up. But Saturdays are the worst. I don't know about you guys, but Saturdays are the worst for the robocalls. Like I said, you could be the skinniest person in the world, but if you're not eating healthy, you're going to run into a lot of diseases. You can be very much overweight. My doctor always told me, you know, Sandy, when I look at your chart, I think, my gosh, this is a healthy person. Other than your blood pressure, you're doing really, really well with everything. Your sugar's in line, and your cholesterol is good. But then I look up and look at you and I see how heavy you are. And I'm thinking, this is not the person that's on this chart. So that just doesn't prove anything. I always had the comfort of knowing, well, you know what? Other than my blood pressure, which is still, I'm not like writing it off like it's nothing, because it is something to be aware of. And I am very much aware of it. And I'm hoping when I go next month that I'm going to be taken off of my pills. But anyway, it just showed that I was feeling very confident that I could eat whatever I wanted because I was healthy. And it doesn't prove it. So just because you see somebody skinny, that doesn't mean they're healthy. Remember that as you're comparing yourself to someone thin. Don't compare yourself to someone thin. Compare yourself with someone that's healthy. If they're as healthy as you, do they eat as healthy as you? Because that's the true test of a good person taking care of their body. And if you're an emotional eater, figure out how you can figure out how you can be emotional without turning to food. Everybody's going to have an emotion of some sort. You're going to be mad at somebody. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're just going to be, all of the things that come in your life can lead to food. You have to realize that, you know, like I'm going to a birthday party today for my grandson, and there's going to be all kinds of food, but I have to know that my daughter-in-law always has a vegetable tray out. I need to go to the vegetable tray, not to the chip dip and that. So you just have to be aware and don't eat emotionally. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? It's a happy day, but that doesn't mean I have to eat food to stay happy. I can be happy with the atmosphere around me. And if you understand your own emotions, it's very important when it comes to your weight loss. Because as soon as you understand, like I figured out that when I ate, after I did my budget each month, I figured that out. And as soon as I figured that out, it made it so much easier for me to start losing weight again. And you have to remember the 8 emotions of life are anger, sadness, anticipation, joy, trust, fear, disgust, and surprise. And any of those can lead to you overeating or binging. And so you have to rein it in and realize, identify the emotion and identify why you want to eat. Because you have to remember that sometimes when you start having emotional eating, that'll lead to mindless eating. And then the mindless eating is going to lead you to gaining weight. And then you've gained the weight and you think, oh my gosh, and you're so mad at yourself. And so you start eating emotionally again. And then you're so mad even at that, you start mindlessly eating and then you gain again. So it's a vicious circle. So we got to work our way out of that circle. Because if you leave it unchecked, your emotional eating is just going to intensify and you don't want to do it. You want to describe your feelings when you're hungry. Is it emotional or physical? If it's emotional, you're just going to turn to food for comfort. You're just going to say, I'm going to have a sandwich, I'm going to have some chips and dip, I'm going to have whatever I'm going to have because emotionally I think that'll satisfy me. But if you're physically hungry, you're going to get, your stomach's going to tell you. It's going to send a signal to your brain. You know what? You're hungry. Go feed me. Sometimes emotional, it'll come on suddenly out of nowhere. You can be just, I got to have something. I got to have something. And that's an emotional eating. But if you're really hungry, it's going to develop slowly. You're going to think, you know what? I think I'm getting hungry. I should start thinking about what I'm going to have to eat soon. Because hunger doesn't come on to you like that. I can't snap my fingers. Listen. I can't, I never could. So you like what, and then West Side Story, you know, you can go like that, but mine never snapped. Anyway, I'm sorry, I go off track. I know I do. But it's going to develop slowly, like I said. And sometimes you're going to crave certain foods. If you're craving a food, that's an emotion. If you're really physically hungry, you're going to want something nourishing. If it's an emotional thing, you're going to want something that's, I know they say it's bad for you, but you know what I mean. It's good. It's really good. But it's bad. It's bad. Don't pay attention to me. And the way to to stop your cravings is to remember that you need to take a snack break. So think of the word snack and go, S is for stop. You want to stop and think about, do you really want to eat this? And then N is for know your emotions, or name your emotions rather. Name the emotion. Why do I want to eat? Is it because I'm hungry, or is it because I'm sad? Or am I mad? Name the emotion. A is for accept how you're feeling. You know, like if you're feeling miserable, just say, you know what, I'm feeling miserable. I really am. But, you know, food's not going to solve that. I need to think of something better to do. Go for a walk. That'll make me feel better. Call an old friend. Call a brother. Call a sister. Call your mother. You know, call somebody. Have them talk you down. And C is be curious. Ask yourself, why is it? Am I really hungry? Or does something really bother me that I think the food's going to help me out? And K is to remember, always have kindness for yourself. If someone called you up and said, you know, I'm feeling really miserable. I lost my job. I don't have any money. You know, what should I do? You're not going to say, well, why don't you go to the store and buy a pack of Suzy Q's? It'll make you feel better. No, you're going to give them comfort. You're going to be kind to them. You're going to help them out as much as you can. And you have to do that to yourself too. You need to figure out how to deal with your eating. You need to stabilize your mood, eat a healthy diet, have healthy snacks nearby, pay attention to the volume that you eat, and jump off that judgment train. Stop judging yourself. Think of yourself as someone else. Think of how you would want someone to talk to you, and then talk to yourself that way. Would you accept other people talking to you like that? Would you let them stay in your life? I'm sure you'd say, bye-bye, see you later, because you don't want them in your life. You just don't want them in your life. So don't do that to yourself. And you have to remember, this is not an overnight success. This is something that, even if I was to reach my goal tomorrow, and I'm only 68 still, because I'm not going to push my age till September, but I'm only 68. So if I was to have some magic fairy come and pop me on the head and say, you're at your ideal weight, I know I still have to eat the right way. I still have to follow all of these steps. I have to be aware of my eating, what I'm eating, when I'm eating, where I'm eating. I have to be aware of all of those, because sometimes you don't want to lose weight because you're afraid you're going to lose that armor that you built up around yourself. A lot of people gain weight because they want to be standoffish from people. They want people to leave them alone. You're not going to lose your inner self. You're losing the outer body, the outer shell of yourself. You're losing that armor that you put up to protect yourself. But the real you is really inside you. I never judge people by what they look. I judge them by who they are. And I don't care. You can be the most obese person in the world. You can be the ugliest person in the world. But if you treat me nice and you are a nice person, that's all I see. I see beyond all of that. And I think that if you really think about it, people do see beyond your weight. They see you for who you are. And if you're a nasty person, they see that you're a nasty person, no matter what size you are. You could be a perfect model and still be a nasty person. People aren't going to like you. But anyway. So anyway, the meeting was about knowing your emotions, or ease your emotions without food. I can guarantee you that I'm not going to be using the recipe, the spiced lamb with gromata. I don't like lamb, so that'll be easy enough for me to do. But next week, a loss, definitely. So hopefully you like the video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have emotional eating problems too, like I do, because I'm up there with everybody else. And share it if you think somebody might like it. So I'll talk to you guys on my daily vlog, or else I'll see you next week. Okay, the meeting was to ease your emotions without food. And these are some of the suggestions that they have offered. And then the recipe is for a spiced lamb chops with gromota, or whatever that is. I do not like lamb. Said Sam I am. So I will not be trying this. But if you like lamb, I guess this would be the recipe for you. If you try it and you like it, let me know.